The main news on Radio Chengelo, brought to you by Moose Milling and Sunday Catholic University.
Radio Ichengelo, restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. Good afternoon with the main news. I'm Clara Tsenga. The headlines. Women urged to go for cervical cancer screening. Sector warns against dealing with illegal postal courier operators. And a FAS organized licensing course attracts a former and current football players. Kindly be informed that we are streaming live on the Radio Chengelo Facebook page, and you can also listen to us on Radio Garden. And now the news in detail. Women are being encouraged to go for cervical cancer screening. Obuchi Urban Clinic provider Mary Chama said as the country observes the January as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, women should take advantage of the commemoration and screen for the disease. Speaking on Radio Chengelo's Health Talk program this morning, Ms. Chama encouraged women that cervical cancer can be treated if diagnosed early.
Huku kalipa kwa munshi ya mfumo, mbali ya mfumo, hilo kabili kwa ba na bucket, musana, sometimes kula ba bleeding, yo iba profuse kwena, limonga, nimukuntuzi wesu, kwando kweba tumukunku. Hilo limokula ba discharge, na kusuma, kwa minchipe ya ayanu mkamkwai. Kula ba amolu kukali.
On the same program, a cervical cancer survivor, Atrice Kalma, encouraged women to take a cervical cancer screening seriously. Lack of a good road network and drainage system in Chingola's Kasala ward has caught the attention of an aspiring councillor, Martin Simwaba. Mr. Simwaba, who has expressed interest to contest the Kasala ward on the ruling Patriotic Front ticket, said the area needs access roads and drainages. Speaking to Radio Chengelo News in Chingola, Mr. Simwaba regretted that lack of a proper road network has made certain parts of a Kasala ward inaccessible.
We don't have one tarmac that passes through Kabundi School going to Kapisha. The other roads gravel roads, or rather, the gravel roads. So, I mean, time after time, we need to be looking after those roads. We have to mobilize ourselves as the community. Of course, sometimes we can get help from the councils and other well wishers. So where we were putting the bridges. The drainage system, if you come to that new area, the new plots at the moment, I mean, you wouldn't like to set your eye on.
The Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority sector has cautioned members of the public against dealing with illegal postal and courier operators. Sector Manager Corporate Affairs Ngabo Nankonde says this follows the increase in the number of business and transporters providing the service without a license. In a statement, Ms. Nankonde said businesses and members of the public risk losing their parcels if they continue transacting with illegal operators. Chief Mukutuma of the Lamba people in Lufwanyama district is hopeful government will consider working on the road that links his palace to a Chikabuke area. The traditional leader said his subjects are tired of using the 30-kilometer stretch road to access social services. He said his chiefdom must also benefit from the developmental programs government was undertaking in various parts of the country.
Palace Kai Kwanza, clean health center, not primary school. But I do not come to Palace. Then beach came 6 kilometers. So let me say, go to lady, a lot of it in school for Twitter friend. Nothing about for one of the kilometer. Ngaba timu ya mozonga mwaisa, mpasuna mwele. Efo to lady. But Zambia ikulu, tete wa president wa mwenjeku. Ayigisha abana ukuba afana kwa batinga muze musimukulu tunalira n'abandi n'ibyo ngishimye kutimba ko tufona uke ko kusoma tofu.
At least 750 people were reported dead after an attack on an Oriental Orthodox church in Ethiopia's Tigray region, according to a European watch group. The attack was carried out by Ethiopian government troops and Amhara militia from central Ethiopia. According to the Catholic News Agency website, at least 1,000 people were estimated to be hiding in the church at the time of the attack. Locals have said they believe the church was targeted by the raiders of the Lost Ark, as the church is thought to contain the original Ark of the Covenant, a sacred golden chest first mentioned in the book of Exodus that carried the Ten Commandments, parts of the sacred scripture, Aaron's rod, and a pot of manna. In sports, the Football Association of Zambia has organized the licensing course. The course, which is being held at Nastic in Lusaka, has attracted some former and current football players. Speaking during the official opening of the e-licensing course, FAS Deputy Secretary General Joseph Chipambwe says the association has in the last 12 months trained 1,200 coaches in the FAS e-licensing course.
To see the development of our beautiful game. For the people that drive the game on the pitch, who are the success. I am happy that they desire to invent themselves and seek to improve their process to the game. In the last 4 years, we have been investing heavily in youth success. One of the key components of the success program is coach education. Under the current executive, we have drawn a 10-year strategic plan that places a high premium on coach education. I am informed by the technical director of Zambia that we have in the last 12 months trained about 1,200 coaches.
And one of the participants is also Zesco United striker Winston Kalingo, says he wants to go into coaching after retiring.
Very much interested, and I had the interest of becoming a coach one day. I'm sure it is just paving the way we're going. So far, it is very, very interesting. Very interesting. There are many new things. That's when you're starting, you can see that there are many new things that has
Zesco United striker Winston Kalingo. This news broadcaster comes to you in the community service of Radio Chengelo with the compliments of Moose Milling and the Zambia Catholic University. And now the international news is monitored from the BBC. An international school in Tanzania has halted face-to-face teaching on one of its campuses after confirming a COVID-19 case among students. A second student is displaying symptoms but has not yet been tested. The school, UWC East Africa, said all learning at its Moshi town campus in northwestern Tanzania had been moved online until 1 February. Day scholars would learn from home and borders would be restricted to a residential bubble, Director Anna Marsden said in a statement. Ethiopia's military has accused an unarmed third party of being behind its border dispute with Sudan, according to the state-owned Ethiopian news agency. Army Chief of Staff General Bihanu Jula on Wednesday said a third party was behind the Sudanese army's violation of Ethiopia's sovereignty. He said that Sudan should avoid war traps being set by the unarmed party and resolve the border dispute through negotiations. Clashes between the East African neighbors over the disputed Al Fashaga region have escalated recently after Sudan in late December announced it had regained control of all its territories that were under the control of Ethiopian militias for over 25 years. US President Joe Biden has begun to undo some of Donald Trump's key policies hours after being sworn in. In his initial acts as the 46th US President, he signed 15 executive orders, the first to boost the federal response to the coronavirus crisis. Other orders reversed the Trump's administration's stance on climate change and immigration. To end the main news, a reminder on the headlines. Women urged to go for cervical cancer screening. Zicta warns against dealing with illegal postal courier operators, and FAS organized licensing coach tracks former and current football players. Remember to wear a face mask whenever in public. Avoid unnecessary movements. Wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds and maintain social distance. And this is in view of COVID-19.